All right, boys and girls. So today's math lesson is it's called Math and Gardening. So when you build a garden, you would definitely have to know the area you can cover, the surface area you can cover to be able to plant seeds. And then usually when you're gardening, you're going to build some type of a box. And so you would need to know the perimeter of the area that you're going to be planting inside of. Okay, so if we look at this figure here, they give you some measurements for A. And you can tell A is a perfect square, can't you? Right? 6, this has to be 6, this must be 6, and this is 6. You can tell all four sides are the same. So if this is 6 feet, boys and girls, to right here, and this is telling me that this whole thing for A and B is 8 feet. So think to yourself, if this is 6 feet right here, what must this be? What number can you add to 6 to come up with the 8? Think about that. This is 2. Hopefully you came up with that. There's a missing piece here. Now we're missing a piece here as well. But think about it, boys and girls. If this is 3, then this must be 3, right? Okay, so there we go. We have all of our sides, I think, labeled. Did I label? Oh, all the way here is 6. So because 3 and 3 is 6. So this whole length right here is 6. All right? So let's think about looking at the questions. It's divided into 2 quadrilaterals, 2 rectangles, actually, a square, a perfect square, and then a regular rectangle. All right, what's the perimeter of part A? So they want you to find the perimeter, adding up the lengths of all of the sides. And it's 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6. There's 4 6s. So I know 4 6s, if there's 4 6s, that's 24 feet. You can abbreviate. Oh, my 4 looks terrible. 24 feet. There we go. So let's find the perimeter of part B. That would be 3 plus 2 plus 3 plus 2. And I'd rather do 5. I'd rather do my 2 and 3 and add that up and then double it. So that's going to be 2 and 3 times 2. And that's going to be 10 feet, right? That's 5, and 5 times 2 is 10. Okay, now the perimeter, excuse me, of the combined garden. The perimeter of the combined garden. So what does that mean to do? That means that you have to combine these two, correct? So you're going to take 24, this one is 24, and then this one is 10, and you're going to add those up. I'm just looking in the answer key, and they're saying it's 28 feet, and I'm not seeing how they're getting that, because I see how they would get 24 feet, or, 34. I get what they're doing. They're saying, okay, so if you add 24 and 10, boys and girls, what is that? Think to yourself. That's 34, right? But you can't, they're not wanting you to count that twice. They're not wanting you to count this part twice. So that's how they're coming up with their answer. That's why it's different. So they're subtracting that out. Because you wouldn't really have that. You wouldn't lay wood or whatever divider you're putting in here, you wouldn't lay that down or lie that down more than one time to separate the boxes from each other. Does that make sense? So you're not going to take a 6 feet piece of wood and lie it here, and then right next to that 6 feet lie another 3-foot piece here. That would be silly to have a double divider. So I think that's how they came up with their answer for the perimeter. Actually, I'm still not seeing it. I would need somebody to help me with this. I don't know how they're coming up with 28. It's not by combining these numbers, because when you combine these, it's 34. Think about a different way we could do this then. Here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking I would just take this and add this, and let's see what happens here. So 8 and 3 is 11. I'm going to add 2 more. And that gets me to 13. I'm going to add 3. And that gets me to 16. Now I'm going to add, and 6 and 6 is 12. So I'm going to take my 16 and add 12 to it. Ding, 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 ding. Okay, that's how they came up with that. Do you get that? So they're not taking these two numbers and combining these two perimeters, because that gets you 34. So if you want to do the perimeter of the combined ones, you would just add the lengths of the outside sides. Okay, I remember that tricking me last year too. So it's 28 feet. So I'm thinking if I got tricked, maybe you got tricked, but you guys are smarter than I am, and usually somebody will catch me in class doing it this way, and they'll be like, no, Mrs. Bertel, you have to do it this way. So we just did do it that way. It's a lot more work that way. All right, is he going to need more fencing to enclose the two parts of his garden separately, or to enclose the let me reread that. Is he going to need more fencing to enclose the two parts separately, or to enclose the combined garden? Okay, so for the perimeter to go all the way around the outside, if we combine these two gardens, he needs 28 feet of fencing. If he does it separately, like here, there we go, separately, he's going to need this many feet of fencing. In other words, if he wants to separate these two. So which takes more? It's going to take more fencing. Hopefully you had some think time. To enclose separately. Okay. Now they're talking about some area. The area for part A and the area for part B. Remember, that'll be length times width. So 6 times 6, 36 square feet. Area of part B, that would be 3 by 2, which is 6 square feet. If you combined the area, and on this one you would add these two numbers up. There's no other way to do it. You're going to add those two partial areas. So I'm not going to do it for you. Should have figured that out. How does the total area of the two parts compare to the area of the combined? They're the same, because you're doing the surface area inside, so they're the same. They're equal to each other, right? Okay. Now on the back, they gave you some dot paper, and you can tell that's not really a foot, right? But they're measuring it as feet. So they gave you some dot paper to draw a different garden that has the same perimeter as his combined garden. The same perimeter as the combined garden. 28. They want a perimeter of 28. Okay? Think about what you can do for 28. So if I'm thinking about a perimeter for 28, there's lots of different things you can do. And I'm just going to cut 28 in half right now. That's 14. You can't have 14 though as a side length, because remember that would give you your top and your bottom, but not leave space for the two sides, and it has to be enclosed. So you can't use the number 14, but you could use 13 and 1, because 13 and 13 is 26, 27, 28. So you could probably use 12 and 2. 12 and 12 is 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. You could probably use, do you see the pattern? We did this earlier with math too, when we were finding areas of rectangles that had the same perimeter. So I'm thinking it would be 11 and 3, 10 and 4. You have a lot of choices that you could use for lengths here, okay? So use dot paper below to draw a different garden that has the same perimeter as his combined garden. So you're going to do that with using, I don't know, you could also do 9 and 5. 9, 18, 28. Yes, that would work. 9 and 5 would work. So you can come up with some different measurements on your own, but then right beside it or next to it or somewhere in this paper area right here, they want you to draw a garden that has the same area as his. So you're going to do one with the same perimeter and then another one with the same area. So I'm just going to model, see, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to do 4 and 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think that's 10. And of course, I like to do this. It makes it easier for me to see exactly what I'm doing. Perfect. It is 10. So 10, 10, 4, and 4, you can tell that that is 28. So I have my perimeter. That's the perimeter. That's the same as his combined one, okay, 28 feet. Now it's asking me to do a garden over here that has the same area. Okay, remember what his area was? Did you figure that out? It was 42 square feet. So I need to have 42 square feet. So think about two numbers, a length and a width, that multiply to 42. That's what you need to figure out. And I'm thinking 5 times any number, that doesn't work. 6 times something does work. And if you know your sixes, 6 times 6 is 36, and another 6 would give you your 42. So 6 by 7 will work. Ooh, that's 7 long, perfect. And 6 wide. So here we go. So this is 7 and this is 6. And you know I like to outline everything so I can actually visually see my square units, or my square, these are square feet, I believe. Yes, they're feet. So that has 42. Now you did not have to do 6 and 7. You could have done something different, but that's just what I did. Okay, then you're going to use your information and answer some questions. What is the area of your garden that has the same perimeter as his? So they're wanting, this has the same perimeter. So now this question is asking me, well, what's the area of that one? Okay, so I don't know what you did. Maybe you did 11 by 3 or 12 by 2 or 1 by 13. So you have to use what you used to be able to find the answer to that question. The answer to this next one, what is the perimeter of your garden that has the same area? Well, this one had the same area as his. They want to know now perimeter of that. I don't know if you used a 6 by 7. If you used a 6 by 7, then you can do 6 plus 7, which is 13, and double it, okay? That would be your perimeter of that one, but you may have used different dimensions. Okay, over here, they want you to use this centimeter dot paper and draw separate areas within the garden that you would plant corn, beans, and tomatoes, given the square feet that they need. Okay, so for example, if you were going to do corn and it's 12 square feet, okay, what two numbers multiply to 12 besides 1 and 12? You could do that if you wanted. I would not, because I would rather do, I don't know, 2 and 6 or 3 and 4. And I think 3 and 4 is easier. So, right there. Right? 3 by 4 is 12 square feet. And this would be corn. Okay? So you're going to do that for the beans and the tomatoes as well. Okay? All right, that's it for today's lesson. Bye, boys and girls.